Awake is a brand new Netflix drama thriller thing. And it is about, I don't know if that would, no. Something happens and all the electricity goes out, and then people realize that they can't sleep. And so this mom is trying to protect her kids in a new world where people can't sleep. And if you can't sleep, you start to have hysteria and you're losing like cognitive abilities and rational thinking. And so people are kind of turning on each other. And she's just trying to protect her kids, one of which can sleep. And so the military wants her daughter because they can sleep and they want to figure out why. So yeah, she's trying to protect them throughout. Overall, this movie's fine. It's watchable. It's okay. It's a good concept, right? It's got a good concept, and I think the performances are fine. They're all fine. I just think there's so much more to do with this concept, and I feel like they have a missed opportunity on this concept, and I'm hoping someone else explores this. I'll watch a fucking Awake 2 that kind of goes more into what I would want out of this, which is really just kind of people devolving into, you know, crazy people and killing one another and you know, and that's does happen to a degree, but I just don't feel like it explores the effects of what not sleeping would do to you and everybody. It's weird. I say that, but at the same time, it's like, yes, they do try to explore that. I just don't feel like they do a good enough job exploring it in depth and in a more engaging way. You know, this is primarily centered and focused on this family and their journey through this experience. And the family to me is, I'll say this word maybe 5 more times during my review. Fine. They're fine. They're believable enough. You know, she's a mom who's trying to kind of get back on track after, you know, doing well, we see that she's kind of doing some shady shit. But she's trying to get her kids back. They currently live with like their grandmother, and their relationship is kind of estranged. She doesn't have a good relationship with her son, and there's a good amount of drama there. And the film's well shot. It has Jennifer Jason Leigh in it. Very, very little. Very, very little. So they obviously just wanted to throw her in for a name. But they utilize her for maybe like, I'd say, a few, I don't know, 5 minutes total, but probably even less than that. But yeah, I don't know. It just, it doesn't really land in the way that I feel like this could. I mean, I know I'm just kind of repeating myself at this point, but that's really just all I kept thinking the whole time. So that's really what my review mostly is. It's a fine film with a great concept that I just feel like needs to be in the hands of other filmmakers. Like, just pass them the concept and say, here, this is what we did with the first film. You know, you can either do your own thing or make it a sequel. Not a sequel with these characters, but you know, a sequel that has a different side of this story, you know, and maybe in a different town, because this is happening all over the world. And just thinking about that, thinking about not being able to sleep. I mean, I went to the hospital once because I couldn't sleep. This was years ago, but I went to the hospital because I was on over 3 days where I kept laying down and I kept fucking laying there and I would not sleep, and I'd have to go to work and I was having to take care of my kids, and I just could not fall asleep for any reason. And it just kept going and I was, you know, and if that happens long enough, you can start hallucinating. It's really, really poor. It's really bad for your body. And yeah, I wasn't doing well. And so having some kind of experience with that I know how terrifying it can be, and I know what kind of a decline happens in your rationale and your cognitive abilities, and I do feel like there could have been more hallucinations. There could have been more chaotic behavior from everyone, and maybe the budget didn't allow for that. And there is some cool stuff with like a car wreck. I thought was pretty well filmed for what I'm sure the budget was, but yeah, it's fine. It's watchable. It's definitely watchable. I think it's fine. I just feel like this could have been elevated a good amount. But that's like a lot of Netflix films. Not all of them, but that's like a lot of Netflix films I watch. You know, like a Bird Box or something that's trying to capitalize. Now, I don't want to say it's trying to capitalize on a Quiet Place, but the timing is very similar. But it's a cool concept that just didn't have enough going on, and it's like, oh no, you needed to do that, but you needed to dial it to 11. And I feel like that's what needed to happen here. This film needed to be dialed to 11, and this film was dialed to like 5. But I did like the performances. Fine. Okay, there, I think I said it 5 more times. Anyways, have you seen this? And is this a recommendation? I don't know. I can tell you that I had a few people in my group who watched it. Both of them were female, but they both were like, I really liked it. So maybe chicks like it more. I don't know why that would be, because it's mother. Yeah, maybe because it's a mother protecting her children. But I would still relate to that, because I completely understand protecting your children, and so I don't know. I just saw, I think it was maybe even 3 of them, and they're all females, and they're like, oh, I really liked it. I liked her, and I liked this, and so yeah, I do think it's like a mother thing, and she's fine. She's good. She's a very protective mother, and she's believable, and I do like that. I think her performance is quite good. And I think the little girl in this is the chick from Logan, right? I'm pretty sure that's the same little girl. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they're all fine. It's a fine film. Just, it needs more. And that's it. Anyways, adios.